Welcome. You did not come here by accident. Be still for a moment. Breathe. What you are about to hear is meant for you. The phone does not ring the way it used to. Invitations that once came regularly have slowed to almost nothing. People you considered close have become distant without any argument to explain it. You walk through your days carrying something heavy that you cannot name. Not depression exactly, not anger, just this low hum of displacement. Like you no longer fit inside your own life. Your prayers feel different lately. Shorter, more desperate. Sometimes you open your mouth to speak to God and nothing comes out because you do not even know what to ask for anymore. The clarity you once had about your future has evaporated. Doors you were certain would open have remained sealed. And the ones you never expected to close shut so quietly you barely noticed until you tried to walk through them. Something is ending. You can sense it in your bones. But nothing new has arrived to take its place. So you exist in this gap, this strange middle space where the old no longer works and the new has not yet been revealed. And if you are honest, you are tired of waiting, tired of trusting a process you cannot see, tired of believing that this wilderness leads somewhere when every day looks exactly like the one before. But what if this unraveling is not random? What if God sends warnings before He elevates? Not punishments, not rejections, warnings. Signals that the ground is about to shift. Signs that what is coming requires preparation you cannot provide for yourself. Elevation in the kingdom rarely looks the way we imagine. It does not arrive with fanfare and immediate recognition. It is built in hidden places, forged during seasons that feel more like abandonment than positioning. The making happens where no one is watching. And often, before God lifts someone into greater purpose, He first allows everything familiar to become unfamiliar. Let me show you 5 warnings God often sends before He elevates someone. If you recognize them, you may begin to understand that what feels like falling apart is actually falling into place. Number 1, people begin to distance themselves without clear reason. You did not have a falling out, no dramatic confrontation happened, but relationships that once felt solid have grown cold. Calls go unreturned. Gatherings happen without you. People you invested years into have quietly moved to the edge of your life. This aches in ways words struggle to capture. You replay conversations looking for the moment you went wrong. You wonder if something about you became unlovable without your noticing. But here is the spiritual truth beneath the pain. Not everyone can go where God is taking you. Some connections were assigned to a season, not a lifetime. And when that season ends, the people attached to it must be released whether you want to let go or not. John 15:2 speaks of the Father cutting away branches. Pruning is not rejection, it is preparation. The people leaving now are not your enemies. They are simply not part of what comes next. And as painful as their absence feels, it is making room for relationships that can carry the weight of your calling. Number 2, you lose interest in things that used to define you. Hobbies that brought joy now feel hollow. Goals you chased relentlessly no longer stir anything in you. You look at what you once built with so much energy and wonder why it feels like it belongs to a stranger. This can feel like depression, like something inside you died without permission. You might even mourn the person you were, the one who cared, the one who had fire. But sometimes God drains the appetite for old things because new things require new hunger. He is not killing your passion. He is redirecting it. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us that there is a time for everything. The season for those pursuits has closed. What felt like death is actually graduation. You are not losing yourself. You are outgrowing containers that can no longer hold what you are becoming. Number 3, familiar places begin to feel suffocating. Your home, your job, your church. Spaces that once felt safe now press against you. Not because anything changed outwardly, but because something shifted inside. You feel restless in rooms you used to rest in, agitated by routines that once grounded you. This discomfort has no clean explanation. It just exists, a constant friction between who you are and where you are. You wonder if something is wrong with you for wanting to leave what should be enough. But consider this. God often makes the old uncomfortable so you will be willing to reach for the new. If Egypt remained pleasant, the Israelites would never have longed for the promised land. That restlessness is not rebellion. It is holy agitation. Isaiah 43:19 declares that God is doing a new thing. Part of perceiving that new thing is losing peace with the old one. The discomfort is not your enemy. It is your signal. Number 4, silence stretches longer than you thought you could bear. You pray and hear nothing. You ask for direction and receive only waiting. The God who once felt so close has grown quiet, not angry, not absent, just quiet. And that silence presses heavier than any trial, because at least in trials you feel engaged. In silence you wonder if you have been forgotten. This is perhaps the hardest warning to endure. The feeling that heaven has placed you on hold, that your file has been set aside while God attends to matters more urgent. But silence is not absence. It is often incubation. Habakkuk 2-3 promises that the vision awaits its appointed time. It will not be late, your answer has not been lost. It is being held until the moment for its release arrives. God is not ignoring you. He is growing something in the dark that would not survive if exposed too soon. The silence is protection. The waiting is building something your impatient eyes cannot yet see. Number 5, you feel misunderstood by nearly everyone. The people around you do not grasp what you are walking through. Their advice lands wrong. Their encouragement feels hollow. Not because they do not care, but because they cannot see what you see. They are not carrying what you carry. And the distance between your inner reality and their perception has grown unbearable. You stop trying to explain because explanations fail. You smile when they check on you because the truth is too complicated. And inside you feel more alone than you ever have, even among people who love you. But being misunderstood is often part of the preparation for elevation. Joseph's brothers did not understand. David's family did not understand. Jesus himself was misunderstood by those closest to him. 1 Samuel 16-7 reminds us that man looks at outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. The people around you see the surface. God sees the depths. And the work he is doing in those depths cannot be validated by anyone who lacks access to them. Their misunderstanding is not your failure. It is simply the loneliness that comes with hidden transformation. So where does this leave you? Standing in a season that feels like loss but is actually preparation. Carrying weight that seems pointless but is building strength. Waiting in silence that appears empty but is filled with activity you cannot detect. The elevation is coming. Not the shallow kind that collapses under pressure. The kind that was forged in secret and can survive in public. The kind that does not need to announce itself because its foundation runs too deep to be shaken. Philippians 1-6 carries a promise that covers every uncertain step you are taking. He who began a good work in you will carry it to completion. That work did not pause during these hard months, it accelerated. And what has been built in the hiddenness will one day be revealed in the fullness. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are being prepared. If this spoke to the season you are walking through, leave a comment below with the words, "God is preparing me." Speak it as a declaration over your life, an agreement with what heaven is doing, even when your eyes cannot follow. And if you want more messages for those walking through hidden seasons before elevation, subscribe here. There is more to come. And I believe you were meant to hear every word.